Hello and welcome to another episode of the FPL Fan Show. My name's Conor.
My name's Callum.
And this is the show for you, the fans of Fantasy Premier League.
Firstly, I just want to say a big thank you to everyone who tuned into the first episode of the show. Comments and support have been really overwhelming, so be sure to check out the rest of the shows. Keep it coming.
And a special thank you to the guy in the YouTube comments who looked at Callum and said, "Is that Nacho Monreal?" I mean, that is fantastic.
It's unbelievable.
It's
really,
unbelievable.
isn't
The
it?
likeness is uncanny.
Yeah, I didn't even know it myself, really. I've had Crouch in the past, but Monreal's a new one, so yeah, we'll take it.
Take it. As ever, we'll be bringing you the hot topics of the week, previewing the upcoming games, and answering the questions that you, the community, want answered.
So without further ado, let's take a look at the hot topics for Gameweek 35+.
Hot topics.
So first up we have, is the Vardy party back on? So Conor, what's your thoughts, mate? Do you think?
I think there is a bit of a hangover coming for the Bournemouth game,
Yeah.
because I think for Jamie Vardy, I think he's really picked up form in the last couple of games, hasn't he? I think coming into the restart, Leicester were pretty poor, weren't they? And actually even before the restart, they were pretty poor. But the last few games, we've kind of seen examples of Vardy getting a little bit more in goal. Leicester have looked a little more dangerous, a little bit more solid. So I think for the Bournemouth game, I think Vardy is a really good option. I know a lot of people have Jimenez. I think if you've got the money and you can do the move, that kind of makes sense. I think the only slight warning with Vardy is the kind of long-term fixtures.
Yeah.
I think after Bournemouth, they have really tricky games. But I would say we're at that period in the season where you can bring him in and then bring someone else in straight afterwards. So I think, if you can bring Vardy in, I think it's time to jump aboard the party.
Yeah.
So next topic. The Golden Boot race is back on. So which are the best assets to own in terms of players who are chasing the Golden Boot? What do you reckon?
Yeah. So I think there's 4 players really to be considering for this. I think Vardy, as you mentioned, is 3 goals in 2 games now. He's looking a bit more back to his normal self.
I think so.
Aubameyang, Salah, and Ings. So for me personally, I think Aubameyang at his price tag right now is going to put off some people. He hasn't really had that ownership this season. I think the price tag has been the main reason for that. But proven FPL asset, just gets goals, doesn't he? That's what he does. Ings for me is the one to look for. The value is there really. Just over 7 million. He's doing it against the big boys as well as the relegation teams. Salah 2 goals against Brighton. Sold him personally. Obviously that was a bit of a killer there. But Klopp has obviously made it clear that he is going to be playing him. Whether he gets a rotation or not, Mane getting rested, I think there's a chance. Yeah. But for me personally, I think if I was to look at sort of a strategy, it would be Vardy for this week against Bournemouth, and then moving on to Ings for the final 3, and really hoping that he chased down that Golden Boot. Yeah, I think that's probably the best bet.
Sounds like he knows what he's talking about. I think that's pretty spot on.
Talk a good game.
I actually agree.
So our final hot topic is, do we keep or sell Wolves' assets? So what do you think, Conor?
I think this is an intriguing one. I think here we have a bit of a case of attack versus defence, because I actually think that in terms of the defence, I owned Devil Wolves defence and I was raging when they conceded the night. It was horrendous. I'm sure other people feel the same. Let us know if you do. But I think in terms of the defenders, Doherty has dropped off a bit in terms of his attacking stats. No, which is difficult. But I think there's still value in that defence, and they've got some pretty alright fixtures. And I think on the whole, they still look fairly solid. So I don't think they're a sell straight away. I think if you've got nothing else to do, yes, you can sell them, and there's some good assets out there. But I'm actually thinking of keeping Wolves assets because I think there's other transfers that can be made. In terms of the attack, there's a problem there. I think Jimenez since the restart just has not looked himself. He's not getting the balls in there. It just hasn't looked the same for me. And I think there's other options presenting themselves now. So I think if you can sell Jimenez, the Vardy moves make sense. Or Ings further down the line. But I think I'd sell Jimenez if you can, but maybe keep the defence.
Yeah, I think that's a solid point. So I think the Traore-Jimenez combo hasn't clicked since the restart. That was such a good sort of duo there. I agree. I think the defence is still a real solid option. Bolly, Doherty. For me, I think if you're losing a bit of trust in Jimenez, I think a solid move if you've got the money is to go to Vardy there. Yeah,
I agree. So that's Hot Topics of the Week covered. And next up on the show, we're going to have a look at Stat of the Week.
Back off, Start of the Week.
As always, our resident statman Bakar will be bringing us the very best stat from the world of fantasy football. So, Callum, What has the man got for us this week?
Just delivered another beauty.
No.
Yeah, what do you expect? Yeah,
Legends.
of course. Yeah.
Legends.
Well, this week's stat is all about the main man, Mo Salah. So Mo Salah currently averaging 5.88 FPL points when Mane is playing with him. When he's not, 12.67 FPL points. So
Wow.
a bit of a gap there. Yeah, so what's your
That's a
thoughts on that one?
massive gap.
Yeah, huge.
Yeah, I mean, that is unbelievable. I mean, the gap between those is huge. I think we know, that Mo Salah is a really selfish player, which does obviously make him a
Yeah,
really good
yeah,
FPL
for sure.
asset. He's obviously chasing the golden boot as well, which I think only helps FPL managers. What I would say is that I think if you own Salah, obviously very well done, but I wouldn't be rushing to get him right now if I didn't own him. I say that because I think, Mane has to start the next game.
Yeah, I agree.
It wouldn't surprise me if Salah does get a rest. I don't think he will, but he might. So I'd say if you do own Mane, I would keep, and I think there'll be more points there. And obviously, if you've owned Salah, well done.
Yeah, I agree. I think that's a solid point there for sure. So thank you very much for the stat, Bakar. It's going to be providing a stat every show, so be sure if you haven't already to give him a follow on social media.
Next up, it's question time. This is the part of the show where we answer your questions. Boona and FPL Goat ask, will Trent be benched next game, and is Mane the one to own for Gameweek 35 plus?
Yeah, some good questions there. That's good questions. I think right now about Trent, I think if you own him, you just play him really. Obviously, there's been a bit of talk about whether he's going to get rotated at some point. Obviously, Robertson got dropped last week, but got quickly put back on after 45 minutes. Whether that's a reflection on Williams or not, I personally think for me, if you've got Trent, you just start him. I think even if he does get half an hour, similar to what Robertson got last game week, he has the assist of free kicks, set pieces to get you points. So for me personally, I think even if he does get benched, don't panic. He's a starter for the rest of the season in my eyes personally. Mane, I think for game week 35 is definitely the one to own over Salah for this game week, just because of that rest. I think naturally managers are going to be expecting him to probably play more than Salah in that game. So yeah, I think Mane, if you are going to look for one of the two, Mane's the one for game week 35. I
agree. If you own Trent, don't be a nutter, just play him.
Yeah.
And if you got Mane, the point should come.
Yeah. So FPL Pistolinas asks, which game week should free hitters target? So what's your thoughts there?
Nice question.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is a position that I'm in myself. And I think personally the best game week to target is the last one of the season. Now, I say that because in theory, and we believe that all the games should start at the same time. So we might get some early team news, which means, if there's a player not starting, you might be able to quickly sub them in and out. And I think traditionally the last game week of the season is always quite a high scoring one. So I think it's probably the best way that you can kind of maximise the points. So yeah, I think the last game week of the season is the one that I would target.
Yeah, I have to agree that I think historically that's always a good game week. And for me personally, that's the optimal time to play that free hit.
FPL Tips asks, would you bench any of KDB, Trent or Salah?
No. Laz FPL asks, is Digne now an option for the run-in? Well, you are Mr. Digne, so
I
what are you
love
thinking?
Lucas Digne. I mean, some of you may know I absolutely love the guy. I think he's a fantastic player, and he was a great FPL asset. I think this is quite intriguing, again, because I think Everton in the last few games have been quite solid. Digne is, he's on set pieces, he's on some free kicks, obviously gets clean sheet points. Everton's fixtures aren't too bad either. And now with Wolves, kind of faltering at the back a little bit, I think Digne is actually quite a good option. So, I think it's a yes from me.
Yeah, I'd have to agree there, yeah. I think he's a good one going forward, a bit of a differential as well.
Definitely. FPL Rookie asks, how do you see Willian doing in his next 4 games?
Yeah, Willian's been an odd one, really. I think he falls into that category where he's been a bit of an FPL troll for so many years that even when he does perform consistently like he has, you almost feel like you can't bring him in because you just feel like he's going to troll you at any moment. I think he's got that right-hand side cemented really to the end of the season. He's clearly playing out of his skin for that contract. For me personally, I think Chelsea over the next 4 aren't necessarily going to be winning every game, but I think what we can guarantee is attacking potential there right now. And I think Willian, with the set pieces especially, he's really getting amongst it. And Pulisic, obviously, on the other side is a great option. But I really do think that Willian is going to keep playing. I see no reason why Lampard is dropping. They're going for the Champions League spot. So for me personally, I think if you are looking for a bit of a differential, Willian could be the one to go for.
I agree. I think ever since he's wanted a new contract, he's turned into Ronaldinho.
Yeah.
So, yeah, he's looking good.
Right, so last question is from Martin Braunton, who asks, does addiction to fantasy football lead to an unbalanced life that threatens relationships?
Wow.
I was going to say.
I don't think it's that bad.
No, I was going to say.
I can safely say we are not that sad that fantasy football ruins our whole weekend and we get that unhappy about it.
It's a game, really, isn't it? To be honest.
Sorry.
But
That's the missus.
yeah, no worries. It's fine.
Get
On camera, don't worry about it. Yeah, it's
Hello,
fine.
darling. Yeah, sorry. Hang on. Sorry, we're just recording.
Danny Ings just scored.
Hang on 1 second.
Danny Ings just scored, mate. You got that, haven't you?
Yep. There's nothing wrong with... No, honestly, there's nothing wrong with me. I'm fine. Yeah, no, I just don't want to go out anymore tonight. Well, honestly, I'm telling you, nothing's happened. It's fine. I'll just speak to you later, okay? All right, bye. Yeah, fantasy football... Yeah, honestly, it doesn't bother us at all. I think fantasy football, it's just a game. It doesn't matter at all. No. It's fine. Yeah, next question.
Yeah. If you'd like to ask us a question for the next show, be sure to drop us a comment below or even ask us a question on social media, and we'll be sure to answer as many as we can.
The community is what makes FPL so special. So we've decided to pick out another person on social media who we believe provides great content. It's time for Social Media Star. Social Media Star.
We can reveal that this week's social media star is FPL Rockstar. FPL Rockstar provides countless early team news which has saved our bacon on many occasions. So be sure to give him a follow, and congratulations on being this week's social media star.
Now then, it's time to look ahead to the week's upcoming matches. We'll be picking out 2 games where we think the points will be coming from. It's time for match previews. Which matches take your eye this week?
Yeah, I think there's a few this game week. I think for me personally, it's going to be Liverpool-Burnley, just because of the discussion about the Mane Salah game time. Obviously, Trent, as we talked about, and obviously Pope getting another clean sheet. So it's going to be really interesting to see whether Burnley can step up in this sort of fixture and take advantage of Liverpool after winning the title. I think personally Liverpool are going to have a bit too much here. And for me, all eyes are going to be on Mane Salah going for that golden boot. As I mentioned, if Salah does get the game time, it looks really dangerous right now, and I think he could be in for the points. But my eyes are going to be on Mane. I think, with that rest, there's a real good chance that he could be in the points. So yeah, for me personally, Liverpool-Burnley is going to be a really interesting one this week.
I think you're right. And I'm going to pick Brighton versus Man City for my game. I think City looked unbelievable versus Newcastle. I mean, they were on fire.
Yeah,
they looked really angry, didn't they? I think De Bruyne looked really good. I mean, Foden missed 2 chances, which on another day he could have had a brace, and his owners could have had big points. So Foden owners are unlucky there. I think one to keep an eye on is kind of gone slightly under the radar is David Silva. Now, obviously, he's going at the end of the season, but that means that, Pep's going to play him in most games. So I think he's a good one to look at. I mean, the free kick was incredible.
Yeah, unbelievable.
Yeah, and I think Mahrez owners are kind of looking good right now. I know he came off on kind of the 75th minute mark, which means that he had a little bit of a rest. So it could go either way. He could be rested, but I have a feeling he may start again. So I think if you're in Mahrez, you're kind of looking good. So Brighton, Man City for me.
Yeah, no, I think that's going to be a solid fixture as well.
Yeah.
So next up, it's time for Correct Captain.
Correct Captain.
One of the most challenging aspects of FPL is picking the right captain. Each week, myself and Callum have to pick the player who we think is the best captain choice for you. And we can't pick the same player.
No, we can't. And I believe this week is you to go first.
It is. Yep. Okay, my choice is going to be Bruno Fernandes again. He is just Mr. Consistent.
Yep.
I think he's a very, very safe captain choice. I know Southampton have been quite good recently, and it must be said they are quite good on the road. But I think Man United are just looking so good at the moment. He's on the free kicks, penalties, he's on everything. And I just don't think Southampton are going to be able to stop them. I think with Man United kind of chasing the Champions League, I think it gives them enough motivation. It means that Solskjaer's going to keep the same squad every time. So, yeah, my pick is going to be Bruno Fernandes.
Yeah.
And who, so is yours going to be?
Yeah, I think that's a solid pick, Fernandes. Just Mr. Popular right now. I'm going to jump on the bandwagon a little bit and go with Jamie Vardy. I do think that Bournemouth are going to put up a bit of a test. I think that, they're fighting for their lives right now. But Leicester, have got their Champions League chase back on track a little bit. They got something to play for. Vardy's big chances are going up over the last few weeks. I think he's got a real good chance against Bournemouth. I think they're going to have to come out a little bit, and that's going to open it up for him to get in behind. But I think it's going to be a tricky one. But yeah, Vardy just nicks it for me. So for me personally, Vardy, you Fernandes. So.
Yeah, I think the Vardy one's a good shout. I think if you own Vardy or can get Vardy, I think I would captain him.
Yeah. Well, I've got to go see my nan. So that draws an end to the FPL Fan Show.
And if you've enjoyed the show, and hopefully your nan will,
of course,
don't forget to like and subscribe, and be sure to hit that notification bell.
Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.